because God's a different thing. But the $1 a month idea is genius. It really is genius idea. Everybody could get involved and just donate €1, and then there could be like the THI group, for example. Every THI group in Ireland or around the world in each country, if everybody donated €1, everything's transparent, all the paperwork can be seen, the accounts can be seen, so, because people get concerned about that.
Yeah.
So make everything transparent, everybody can see what's going on. €1 a month, how many people could we help with that money? And that's not even going near the governments or the police or anything, we're just doing our own thing and creating our own system. And I still don't understand why people have a problem with it. Because they
don't understand it. And the alt media is full of people taking money and then writing blogs and articles and going to Indonesia and spending $25,000 on tequila and hookers. Okay, that happened. In this particular, and it's not anybody on this line.
I'm glad you said that.
In this particular case, the whole purpose behind it is this. If you have a 501(c) in America, right, or a tax or a foundation that is considered to be, that dollar is considered to be a tax deductible dollar. Just like when you donate to the United Way or any of these other large breast cancer foundations and whatnot, right? $1. Okay, and if you have a family of 4, then it would be $4. You say you got to compensate for your minor children, for example. In the United States, that's $370 some odd million a month. A month. Well, and you're going to either pay it to the IRS or you're going to pay it into an organization where you have a say where that money actually goes. You have a vote. You actually have a voice. You see? Yeah. So the whole idea behind it was you can either pay the government and then watch all these CNN people talk to each other about where your dollar's going, right? Which we all know it doesn't go there anyway. Or you take that, you get a receipt from the 501(c), whichever one it is, THI or People's Club or whatever it is you're doing, and you get a receipt. So you take that receipt and you file it with your taxes at the end of the year or on April 15th or whatever date it is in your country where you're listening from. And you don't have to pay the government that dollar or that $10, that $5 or whatever it is you're choosing to do. But yet, you get together once a quarter or once a month and you all vote on how you're going to spend your $378 million a month.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people you can affect with $378 million a month?
Yeah.
That's billions of dollars a year. You can build roads. You can build schools. You can change the way your children are taught through a charter school. As an example, in the United States, a charter school, only requires that you have proper nutrition and handicap accessibility. They don't govern your curriculum. So if you really want to make a change, teachers listening, build a charter school with your $378 million. Guarantee it's only going to cost a couple $1 million.
Yeah. No,
make the change. The people.
It's just so much, but maybe that's it. Maybe because the idea is so simple, people don't get it. Maybe, I don't know. I just don't know. It's such a great idea that we could.
It doesn't matter if you form 100 million of these nonprofit organizations and everybody puts their own dollars into their own nonprofit. It's called a family foundation versus an open foundation, meaning only members of your family can donate. Therefore, you're not violating the foundation rules, right?
Yeah.
And then all the foundation owners all get together once every 3 months and they take their own bank statements forward to the table. And then you all vote who's going to put their money towards X or Y. Yeah. Everybody wants to be in control, right? Because everybody's been so out of control of their own lives for so long. I get it. So bring everybody to the party. If you want to be in control of your own taxes, your own things, and your own foundation, great.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, but as long as everybody does it. If everybody does it, you don't need me. You don't need the trust. You don't need the government. You don't need anybody. I mean, of course, you got to follow the rules. Don't speed, no drinking, driving, all of these things which keep us safe anyway. But no one's going to bother you.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's all above board and it's all legal in their system.
That's right. But yet you're created a whole new system out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem is the programming. We think anything that comes from the people is a scam, and yet they're participating in scams every day of the year. The American people, they've been told, or sufficient have been told, that the IRS is voluntary. Now, I'm not telling people to not pay it, because individually they'll hammer you and put you in jail. Look, if the whole country turn around and go, you said it's voluntary and we're not paying, and that's what can happen when you combine the groups, and that's part of the THI state groups.
But give the pigs their money. You're allowed to donate to Breast Cancer Foundation, right?
Yeah.
You're allowed to donate, and then you're allowed to take that as a tax deduction.
Yeah.
So give them their money. We the people with the right minds and the right creativeness and the right connection to source itself, we don't need their money. They can have it. You see?
Yeah.
It's what we do with ours that counts.
Exactly.
But, they'll say, oh, it's a scam. You had that email which says people think it's a scam. And yet they contribute $2, €2, $5, €10, whatever, to the lottery every week, which is another tax. None of it goes back to the people.
Yeah.
I wanted to create a lottery whereby it would require a lot of people participating, where it involves certain prizes will pay your home insurance for a month or a year, or your taxes for a quarter or a year, based on how many numbers you got, and the top prize would be to pay the house off.
Yeah, and that's the great idea.
These are things we can all get involved in. It's just basic ideas where the funds are going to pay your home insurance, pay your taxes, or pay your house off if you win the top prize. And yet people are given $2 for the lotto or whatever it's called, the Powerball, and even when they get three numbers, what do? They don't put the $3 or $4 where they've gained something. They started off with $2, they come back with $4. Now, I'll have another ticket.
Yeah.
Or check the box on your taxes, $1 to donate to the blah blah campaign, or the St. Jude's Foundation at the local it's Walgreens here, but it's Boots, I think, over there. But it's the same thing. I mean, we're willing to do that because we think of children that are dying of cancer, and that's great. But what about the guy that just needs funding for the cure for cancer? Why don't you talk to that?
Well, we had to. I'll have to jump in here on that, Kim, because we already had David Noakes and his partner Lynn, who had he put together GC Math to actually, and he cured. And I'm going to say the word cured, or maybe remission, of loads of people with cancer. And now she's in a French jail, and they're trying to jail him as well. This is what they do. This came out the same with the guy in Brazil.
Everybody's talking about it. Yeah. Everybody is talking about it on the phone, on the radio shows. Everybody's looking for that recognition. It's not recognition that you need. You do things quietly.
Yeah.
That's what the Russians do. I mean, they have all kinds of cures for all kinds of things, and they're treating all their people every day. There's stem cell things that have been going on in Mexico since the 80s. But nobody here in the States, everybody's arguing with all these politicians to get it passed to make it legal. Why? If you got $378 million, right, in a month, you can send hundreds of people to Mexico to go get stem cell treatment. Why do you have to talk to these people? You see? That's the difference.
It's the same in Cuba. Cuba had it was fairly expensive but they had a cure for eczema.
Towards one side, then shifts towards the other side. But as it relates to humanity as a whole, the system does have a section called human aptitude. So it will actually map out the thought process and all of these types of things if you wanted to. I really don't use that feature because what is the point? Really, why do we care? In other words, not in a negative way, but just from the standpoint of, well, if we're pumping out more source energy out of the central vortex, right? Okay, we can do that. And maybe we want to monitor the progress of that, right? Are more people waking up? Are more people doing good things? Is something changing? Okay, let's do more, right? Or, wow, that had a negative effect because everybody's going crazy. Oh, maybe we shouldn't do so much. But it can monitor those types of things, but it's more preferable to monitor other things and other situations as it relates to restoration and progress. We have a long way to go.
We have a very long way to go. And we talk about
and it all comes down to what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Not me, not Kim, not Trump or Putin or this government or this organisation. When you get it down to the brass tacks, it's what you, the individual, are you going to do? And that's the key to it. People say, oh, I'm only one person. Well, no, you're not. If everyone suddenly around the world suddenly decides today, I'm going to care for people, the world changes.
And we can change it. We could change it tomorrow if everybody just changed their thinking.
Yeah, there's no executive order saying not to care for people. None. We do that. So we have the choice. We made that choice to do that, and we have that choice to not do that.
Oh, you know what? I kind of, one of the things that I say from a psychological point of view is, if you're asked to do something and your first thought process is, how can I get out of not doing that? Then that kind of gives you an idea where your head is at.
Well, they're takers. They're not givers. And we need more givers and less takers. The taker, anyone who just takes is no different to the cabal. It's just a different level.
Yeah. No, I don't agree. We just need to change. I'm kind of very pessimistic when it comes to the moving from the child mind to the adult mind. I've said that to you before on the show, Thomas. Because it does take a lot to look inside you as an individual and to make that change and to use energy to do it. And in the world you have givers and takers, and I don't know.
But it's taken them far more energy because they're spending 24 hours a day looking outside of themselves for external things. He's doing this, she's doing that. The God is outside of them when it's inside. And everything's external. And it hasn't worked. So if it doesn't work, think and act different, and let's do a different way. Let's go internal and let's care. So it's very simple. Yeah,
I know. So simple. Right, okay. I'll just get a last word from you, Thomas and Kim, and we'll wrap things up and finish there. So give us your last thoughts. I mean, we're coming up to, this is October now, we're coming up to the start of 2020 vision and all that. So what's your prediction for the future, or for at least coming up to next year?
Well, we've made giant progress, and people need to recognise that, not only as a collective, but as individuals. All of you have made enormous progress. Recognise it. It's the external that's fallen apart. Why? It doesn't work anymore. So waiting for Kim or waiting for Trump or Putin or whoever else you want to follow, it hasn't worked. It's not meant to. This is the time of going within and fixing the self, and then encouraging others to do the same, and then combining as a force. That's it.
Okay. Kim?
Well, based on the call today, just remember you have a lot more power than you think you do. As an average everyday person who wants change. Please stop focusing on what president's doing what and who's exiting where and all of these things, because at the end of the day, it's not going to change your personal life or the personal life of another person. There's plenty of people in this world with plenty of wonderful technologies, and these are average everyday people. Some of them aren't even scientists, and they just had an epiphany one day of something they could do to change the world. It's all noise. It's meant to distract you as a creative, powerful being from becoming what you could be and from what we as a society could be. Look here, not there. We take this from you. There's nothing stopping you, realistically, from changing the world. The world has always been changed, whether for the good or the bad, by one person. There are certain things that will live in infamy, that, certain phrases and lines. But remember, at the end of the day, you have the power.
Yeah.
You have it in your hands. And the power comes from unity. Unity with like-minded people. Create the change. Send somebody for stem cell instead of trying to fight the U.S. government to get it. It's all over the world. Everybody's doing it. Make the change in that person's life. Make the change in your own life. Connect with your higher self. Spend 20 minutes a day with yourself. Learn to love yourself before you can love somebody else. It's important. So it's about what I have to say.
Okay, no, I really appreciate that. Focus on the things you can change, not the things you can't. I think that's the simple message there. Well, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Thomas and Kim, and obviously Randy, who was on earlier on in the show, for coming on. And I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Great information as usual from everybody concerned. Onwards and upwards. We have 2020 around the corner. We have the end of the year to finish. The energies are changing. People are feeling it, and people are seeing it as well. So there are positives out there. We just need to step up and be leaders and not followers, and to take on board what Thomas and Kim said there, and get involved and change your way of thinking and think different. Take the energy, take the time to do it. For myself, Alan James, this is Circle of White Light Radio. Next week, I don't know who the guest is going to be, because it's going to be somebody from the Open Mind Conference anyway. We have it booked in for somebody from the Open Minds Conference. So I'll keep you posted. Watch the schedule on the website, and I'll put the post up there when I find out who it's going to be. But for myself anyway, have a great week. Take it easy and love each other. Bye-bye.